Good morning. You are listening? Okay, thank you for in first. I want to thanks for this opportunity to come here and to show our research in my research group in Portugal. I came from University of Porto, in particular of the Faculty of Engineering, and I'm working in my research group, have other research from Open University of Portugal. So first of all, I want to express my institutional gratefuls for my university to the rector of this university start this conference, and to make my thanks for every one of you, and in particular Pierre, Giorgio, to invite me. So my agenda is to speak or talk about the motivation, some motivation one with my work in serious games, some introduction, briefly introduction about the theme, and my research methodology. I will talk about my research, where I will see this in-game triadic certification method. Both we can assess the game by self. It is my interest is to use the game to learn, and how they can learn. We will show we can learn, but I don't need to stop to do that. Okay, it's the most important. It's my motivation is about that. So in this path, my presentation, my agenda, I'll show short case study and research conclusion, and my working progress can be useful for our discussion. So my motivation is the learning game cannot stop for student to take the assessment. So if you make the play, if I play something, it's not makes sense to stop to know if the player learned something. So this idea was my motivation, even when I start my master. So my path for my academic career is go around the University of Porto, when I make my PhD and collaborate in different projects, European projects, and finally I am in some research about Ivanira platform, which I will talk about at the end. So why games? With this public, everyone know about this. The games, why games can be effective learning tools. So challenge associated with the learning objective. They have motivating and engaging environment, and not the younger generation, but every generation are now or became digital natives, and some which I have that idea, and I feel that along my academic career is growing, except in various learnings, to use serious games to learning some proposals. So these serious games can be effective in the training areas like medicine, nursing, simulated training in cyber security. It's a new, I feel this is a new topic, using the training or the serious games to help not the people in general, but the expertise in cybersecurity to be more prepared to this different type of attack, and prevent of the risk behaviors, or even tours guides and urban region can be helped to training. And the environment can be more different or diverse, like serious games, virtual reality, or mixed reality. So what is the challenge? The big challenge, or I feel, because I don't, my profile is not programming, or is specific that part of the implementation of the systems. Is more to do the learning, how the learning can be effect, how can measure or can analyze what the progress of the learning of the student. So the most important for who propose some activities is to assess and tracking that evolution. The game can need to, the game or other activity, learning activity, and we need us to understand what is the process and not enough the final result. So the challenge in this moment for us is to, in no traditional context, not exams with some platforms or with the normal context of the students, like immersive relative, is complex and time consuming to process for instructor. It's difficult to, when you have 100 students, to know what everyone doing and what is the rhythm of them, which of them. So we need to understand, or to give a response for these questions. And hopefully of this answer, my idea is to integrate the assess process in the develop of process of the game. So my my PhD is around that part. Or I can to build or to develop, to design my serious games to obtain with the game the final result. So we need here this how I can measure the student performance, and that give me some initial perception to understand what type the relation between skills or competences I need to know, or I need to know which games can help to learn. This was my first idea. So my research is around these aspect: skills, training, learning objectives, assess, and certification. You have some different, I suppose you know, perhaps you know it, don't know about that. Assess and the certification have some distinctions, because the assess will be is a normal process to understand if the student gets some knowledge, and the certification is given by other entity or agency to give that certification. So it's different aspect. My work is around only the access. Even I want to finish with the certification, but it's not have the time to finish that part. So my idea is my hypothesis formulation it was a triadic certification model. So triadic, we have 3 parts. That 3 parts will be the skills, the mechanics, and the training or reality. So I need this part. And for that, I start with the study to the relationship of the taxonomy of games and competencies. So if I will use the games, I need to understand what I can obtain with the games in the learning. It's not enough to do that games, the exploration or adventure games, can help to the skills of the curiosity, identify or characterization of something, elements around in the environment. So I need to understand that, and the first step of this process was a study about the relations, and finally to obtain a certification model, which I will show in the next step. So my case was acquisition of competence for driving license. Here we have we have 2 points of view. The first is assessment of the learning through serious games. The serious games can help us to assess. So normally this way we can use the questionnaires before and after the game. So the game design have specific aspects and can use that. And yeah, I use the resource provide the games, logs, resource, storage, analysis, everything which the game give us, we can use that for analysis. And have 3 models to assessing learning in serious game. But the other aspect is to use the learning assess design in serious games. So the models itself are integrated in the game, in the developer process. So have other different models, access design. I will give this a presentation before to more information about that. And that's important, these the different type of view of our question, because we can change our view if they use different models of the assessment. So perhaps, I don't have 100% about that, but these different models normally represent different aspects of the games, not have only one. And in my case, I want to understand not only the motivation, not only the engagement of the players have with the game, but if they understand what is the learning objective of that game. For me, for training, for learning is important that not only the emotional or the personal aspect, but the learning aspect, learning object. So even after this analysis, I have this. I understand, or I find some gaps in the. It's not clear understanding of how the games can affect the learning. It's not no optimal method for design games for training. Even I detect some problem, because when you create a game, entertainment game, the creatives and the game designers are in the world, are in they build the world, what they want to play, what they create their environment, create the mechanics, everything are in because the most important is entertainment, or the people play the game. When you use the game to learn, the game designer not know nothing about learn. And I think it's important that efficient communication between these actors, game designers and trainer or instructor. So this step, my resource is around this aspect, to to facilitate the communication between the different actors with some tools. So my process is to build some tools to help them to build that, and at the end have the assessment of our planning object. So here, what I obtained. The first study is a correlation between game genres and skills. Okay. So I tried to understand what is the best practice in the games. The serious games are in the market. I know it's 5 or 6 years ago, because after that came different others, new games, but analyze 160 games, base it and compare and give to understand what is the successful experience of this game. So I cross with some education competence framework. We have 6 categories and can build and help to understand something like that. So with some in the left, in the left, I have the game genres, and the top I have the skills or competencies, and with my analysis of all of these games, I found some patterns where I define is good here with the mechanics of this type of game, I can learn this. So I have here, I identify with color some parts where it is good to use to learning some skills. So with this first step, I build my research, because this can be useful if I understand what I want to train previously. So my approach, it was to design this triadic certification model. So we have 4 steps, and that for which of them I will have a particular actor. So the most important is to understand what we can or we propose to learn with the game, with the game. No? So we need to understand what you want to training. So the first step is that part. The second is map scenarios in relation what competences have each activity in this part, in this training. The second is with that scenarios and what you want to learn with the game. We choose the game genres, and that game genres will give some mechanics. That mechanics can be not only game, but you can mix it, game genres. And finally, we have the triadic certification model is the output of this result, and can be help us to understand. I will spend better on more slides on. So briefly, this first step, I want to define the training situation. So this project, in particular approach, it was to training in the driver, licensed drivers competences. But I can use this every type of training, even the medicine, nurse. I have other experience with the tourist guide, because in Porto is a very beautiful city and have many tourism there, and tourist guide can be useful too, because nowadays the people want to learn or to know particular private experience in tourism. It's not all everyone go there, and there are flowing or growing the search of the particular tourist guide. So this type of game this type of approach can build specific training for that city, for that place, with that some interest point of interest or different aspect. It can train specific. So every part is independent of the others, but all of them build the learning. Okay. The second part, I choose the Microsoft competences. Is some benchmark. Microsoft competences is educational because you need to have some standard of competences. We have this one. We have the European framework of education. We can change, but the problem, the most problem of that, this is my study of it was with this framework, not the other framework. So this, I think this framework is interesting because we have soft and hard skills, and that normally today you don't need only to do something, but what you feel with that, what you grow up with that. So these competences have this. So what is this step? I take this as a benchmark and training scenarios, and I build our scale of proficiency. What is it? I have the basic, the intermediate, and the expertise level. Each of them means they know or have acquired some knowledge with the training. So that part will be important to define that. Not is only one step, but different, because that means the people, the student, have progression of the learning of the learning of competences. So that be useful in my final output to understand that different levels. So the final part here is a basic competencies profiles, is a scale of proficiency of to acquire as you can see, this generic can be used for every type of training. So here, with this, I get my study and compare the game genres with the skills, which I defined previously, and that found what is the most efficient skills. So, and with that, I can get one game genre or a mixed game genre. Finally, I have this this triadic certification model where I have the basic skills at the left, at the top the game mechanics, and at the the X, I have the different training step. So it's not clear, perhaps, but at the part of the competences or basic skills, every training level can be a different proficiency level. So if they do that exercise several times, they grow up in the proficiency level. So everyone have that and can be, and that part can be useful for the instructor to understand where the students are, and if they need to some improvements, some feedback, and tracking that. It's useful for the tracking. So my result is of my research is this element. It's most important for the work today are doing. Okay. This is my main contributor of my of research. I have in particular I think I have two main goals here: to ensure the quality of the game's developer process, because that issue, that part, not is a problem for the developer process, because I need to, what I define with these tools. I define the mechanics, the help to the design, game design to build the games is very useful. And I identify what mechanics I need to earn or to collect to analyze to assess the process. So I think it's very clear the integration of this method. And I have the idea, the perfect idea to put the actor to talking itself. That's important to do that. Okay, and it's not limited to what the many keys ideas. It's not limited to any specific game taxonomy. Can be useful or can be considered for any training context. So it can be interesting to use this platform. In particular, my case, in the University of Porto, we have a virtual simulator on real car, and use that to make my text of this approach. The most important in the driving lessons is the student or the trainee control and mastery of the vehicle. Is more operational things, and adaptation of to contrast change is a tactical, or they in the role what this several expect. So what is the process? Can be help them to understand what we're doing. So we start with the case use case of our competences, of our activities, and define the actors, what happened, what. After that, define the sequence of the action can be happen. What had happened in the different tasks I defined or different levels. After that, I defined the training scenarios. I defined the roads. I defined the different competences where I defined what happened in different place in the environment place. So speed control, stopping and stop without with or without priority in the cross and other things. So the second step is to understand what static skills I need, static skill, operation skills, and the outcomes, what different mapping my training skills. After that, to understand what is the best game genre. In this case, is simulator game. It can be easy to decide that. It's a simulation game with the vehicles because it's a driving lessons. Be different can be strange, but and can be the action games. Okay. In this way, I build this model, final model with different proficiency for a scale of 4 elements, and different trainings. The trainings is different path. Okay. So this part, after to develop the environment, the serious games environment, I need to build something to receive the information. That part is the most difficult for who develop the serious games. Normally we talk, something is good because the games, every games give many information. But what I do with that? How I can understand that type of information, so even logs, even scores, or whatever. So I'm build some short, small application to calculate the serious games to receive that part with some time real information. I can see when what happened and cross the learning objective with the mechanics. So that tools is a small proposals to get some feedback with action of the, but have some many limitations because it's not open source. It's not is a Windows application. Have some many limits. So that part can be improved in the future. So what I make small metrics to calculate the success of the task. That task I need to get different successful tasks to contribute for all results, and have some formulas about that. And what I define it. We have this tool is back office is for the instructor to follow the training, and here it's inside the car. We have a small tools where evident the time, what the signals appears in the routes, and if they makes correct, not correct in particular part, have the feedback. So this part try to make the project as interesting for the student to have the most important in the games, feedback. The game, not only visual, but with audio feedback about the parts. So the student or the driver have two parts: training, because I have no people with the lessons without lessons. So they make some part of that, and someone don't drive that fastest experience with the car. So what is relevant here? The training have audio help to explain or to indicate give some indications, and when they make the second part without is not the training but the real train, or they don't have audio help. Is a different that two part. So it's interesting. So I have here, but this experience gave me some feedback interesting. No one, we have with driving car people without driving car, and less 23 years ago old, because in the European we have many death with in this age, minor 22. So the Commission European Commission are interesting to reduce this number. So in this speed we don't have success because everyone want to accelerate the car and it's difficult. What was difficult, but the others you have many contribute. So, but I not with people with driving lessons, but the people without driving lessons. I have success with that. So that is interesting because who are learning something. Okay, can prove that. So the most important in my this research is to verify the process, the integration, this assessment process in the game can be correct, it can be done. So with what the output is a triadic certification method with the method of the first step and the model at the end. But at the end, I feel what I do with this method, what I do with this. So the most important it was the working in progress, because it was a, I think it's good idea, the good approach, but how I can make some evolution of this and integrate really in the real platform this concept, this approach. So nowadays, the work in progress, you are working in Ivanira architecture, where is open. I will explain that. Is an open source program project, and where many researchers are working around that. We have master thesis working in this, and in this Ivanira platform, and nowadays we are integrating this approach. My results of the PhD are integrating in Ivanira. So what is Ivanira? Ivanira is a framework to achieve the digital transformation in education and aggregating teaching and learning in the hybrid and multimodal context. The most important of this platform is not only to receive the analytics, but integrate everyone around the platform. So this aspect is important. I think it's very interesting for our work, because here we not only about games, we have a multiple immersive environment. So this platform can be interesting about that. So this platform or this architecture allows to respond to the challenge I told in the beginning. The challenge is how can help this structure to have to less time to tracking, to assessing the process. So this platform have some proposals interesting to following the main important is to following the learning activities and any immersive environment on large scale, not only in our class, but can be the school or even a training to company in company training context. Can be or is open to every type of learning activities, because it is not it's not defined to one or other. It's open. So what happened? The most important is the platform resist the learning activities, and receive the analytics. And that analytics, when you defined or resist that learning, you define what you are receive. So the platform only receive and make with dashboard show what is the progress of the in that student on that measures defined. Okay. So the approach, we can consider that what happened, the external learning platform, which you are using, Moodle or whatever. Can be Moodle or other type of games, as defined as activity provider, and that activities after is available to Ivanira and register their analytics. So we configure here the innovative activity plan. It's like that. I can define different types of learning objective with some metrics, and can use this analytics can be collected, and after that, after collect, the platform gives that qualitative about status activity. If they get the the proposals, open one many times there, depend of the metrics I wanted. So I can define not only true to false, but I can give different or give it different analytics. I can receive different analytics of that. So in this case, not clear in front of me, but I have an experience on the remote laboratory, and they give some feedback on many times there, if they happen, what they do successful or not successful, okay? And gives to students, because it's every student have its profile activity profile. Okay, I will finish my presentation. Something that I told it before. The most important is to this method is to standardize the game design for skills acquisition, and not forget the three parts: basic skills, mechanics, and reality. So this in-game certification method is can forward in the intention to define, certify, and validate design contributes. And don't forget the learning objective, because you can do serious games without learn objectives. That is a part important. It's most important in our actions. Finally, I try to, as I explained, to go other a new platform, and this platform can be help to understand the or can get more result for my my method, because I feel in my work was more limit to obtain results, and with this Veneer platform I will have more analysis, more information about what happened, and can be a double solution to issues tracking the progress and the activities and the individual assessment. So this Veneer is not a full application yet. Is a work in progress. Is a limit. It's not every function are implemented, but I feel that the platform can be in the future interesting to make the instructor make analysis and make some orchestration to the activity progress. Okay. Thank you for your attention. I know. Thank you. Yes.
I really appreciated your work about matching game values with skills. Because I was a little confused with all those data in the sense like, can you share the data about that topic? Because I think that it's very important to learn this, and maybe you can have, if we can have more details on this. I know have you already published about?
I published that in the 2050 about that. 15. The most important that I make it's not it's my analysis of the games, because I play the games and I have some metrics, and with my understanding I make some choice, okay, and I play all games and understand that even other that with other metadata, where they find something, not only the category but some reviews. I understand. I try to read different things. The process it was that play and learn some, read some reviews about that and make that information. I published that because it was the beginning of my work. Before the pandemic, I have one site with all the games. I play it with identification, with links, but I retry. I lost like the link, but I can send you the information, and can, if you want to understand more the process. More, yeah. The overall, yes. Normally, when I go to some catalog, because I choose different catalog of games, and I found that time I found many mobile apps or mobile games, and they with some is more directly to our games of in this type of interest. So I think the process was long, because I have 1 year, I think, because I think I'm 1 year to play that different games, because it's not continuous work. You have some breaks even that time, but the process, what is the, but perhaps it's more easy to explain. The reviews can help. The reviews of games help to understand what the game to do, because sometimes the games were long, but you can understand. But most of them, because with the particular issues, some of them have small number of the games. So the most important, perhaps, because I define games and game genres and sub game genres. We have some, because sometimes inside the some sub two or have different aspects in the genre, the main genre. So we have, but the most difficult for me is to have a scenic, because you think 150 games is many games, but when you divide in the categories, it sometimes have there 2-3 elements. So I can give you, if you want, the main list. You can see sometimes I have 4-5 games. It's not significant to. So that part when I make some highlight, where is evident effect of that skills. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I remember about that. The speed, every car have a different settings. So some people with the license tell me the pedal is very different of I am used. So I try to adapt them. Sometimes I don't. The difference is because is 50 kilometers per hour, the limit I defined in this test, and sometimes the visual information it's not the same time the same efficient than in the computer. Some okay. 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 It's no limit. Okay.
That's something to the use to say, yeah, it's normally, or, I mean, mechanism in the simulation system to make them feel.
No, I don't have any mechanism. I feel the people try to do that, to explore the no problem, no risk, because in the first step, normally I said use, understand the car, try, and the people normally go on. Okay, but it was difficult for them to. They tried the limit. Someone go to 100. Try to do that in the simulator, but I don't feel that can be a problem. My issue is to understand if the people training well and do after the section well too. And that part, with some exception, we have success, not the speed really, but the other parts. The speed can be because most of them are youngers. Yes, they want to risk to go on the risk. No, infantily is normally that, and with this condition, no risk, they try to do that. But I feel they psychological have some difficult in the second step to have some restrict concentration about to do well. The people who have make the risk in the first step, the second don't try, because perhaps we have a problem here as we'll talk, because I want they have the whole process correct, not have any fault. Perhaps I don't remember in this moment, but perhaps if they fail one time, don't have success. I have 4 experience of speed. I need the all success can be all 4 correct. So can be perhaps need more analysis about this. This is that aspect. But my idea with the formula I apply, the formula of to join the all task is they need to have the total sources that in the all situation. Perhaps the result can be have some error about that without precision. Okay.
maybe you know, and how they measure the progress. They use the process, some issue, and also theory includes also complicated, but when we know the regular how to include this kind of solution, we have a good information.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the question. The most problem is the whole level the teacher, if you use the games, if you think the game is to build the game with some interface with join this platform. But recently I was in Slovenia. In Slovenia, the student of the teacher's student will be teachers in the future. Student will be, they learn games in the course to build games, to training, to give the students in the level, low level the schools. So to use the games, the teacher need that skills. Is a requisite. You can build the games without only to some ideas. It's not enough. You need to design the game with the learning objective. So when I went to Slovenia, the Faculty of Education there, have a group, they work in the didactic with the games. So they have, I think, is 3 semesters with programming and finish with the design, not only design, but develop the games. And so they have, in this experience, they have, I think, 10 years ago to work in that. So have teachers in the school who have that abilities. So I think in this part with the games is very difficult if the teacher not have that knowledge. But the idea is you can build with the Ivanira, for instance. We are using a project with the remote laboratory, and that remote laboratory use this framework, this method to analyze or to assess the progress. So it's not only to the games. If you have learning objective, you have a training environment, you can use that platform. Not need a great knowledge with the games. So I told. When I finish my PhD, I feel that difficult to have people to use which can build or develop again. So that so nowadays I turn around or turn to some particular part when each or whatever activity can be integrated with this method. Okay. Any question? Even here? Interesting, because that time when I defined this methodology or this framework at the beginning, I tried to, or I studied different frameworks, and European was one of them. But what happened, the framework of that time not have more recently have different agendas, and the agenda gives different new metrics of that. And that time I found only we are starting in the Bologna process. And the most important that time, not have many details in the professional areas. This was more high level. What was the infrastructure of education, European education. So don't have many particular, as I read recently, have more metrics in nowadays. But I think the step can be easy if I define or find some connection or some relation between the concept of the other framework with the concept of the European framework. Perhaps can be useful back that step, and I'm grateful for this recommendation or suggestion, because can be interesting to make this step. To yes, not to analyze again directly the games, but to understand what is the same, what is equivalence, yes, some mapping that can be useful. And thank you for this. Okay. Thank you.